my bear. He's
Right.
has a spirit attached to him, and so maybe this Dewey was someone's favorite bear, and so they loved him, and so that's why they're kind of put in the energies there. It's not so much,
Yeah.
yeah, the person's living in the bear. It's some, like they
Right.
say on the movies,
Yeah.
Chucky. You know what I mean? It's Chucky. Hello, welcome to Conversations with Neuvias. My name is Carol. Today we have the lovely Marge
Hello.
and the lovely Lynn with us today in the background.
Hi, good morning.
And our lovely topic today is hauntings and spirituality.
Yeah.
Yes. So this we thought it would be a good topic today with everything, of course, going on. But actually, this just kind of happens simultaneously if you really think about hauntings, right?
True. Yeah.
So I guess we could start off with what hauntings are, just to kind of break it down first. Preferably spiritually. Anything attached to a location or object. It's basically energy. Um, a ghost, I guess you could have, or a spirit, that inhabited, and could be a bear, which I brought, my bear, because
Yay.
he's haunted. Dewey, and yeah, just that's kind of what circulates, I guess, when we talk about haunting and spirituality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting when people talk about it. There's such a varied range because of the movies and stuff when we were kids that would come
Mm-hmm.
out, and none of them were just normal hauntings. They're all scary hauntings. So people get a little anxious when they think about hauntings, but that's an extreme case, and it's not very often that that's the way it is.
No, no, not at all. Usually people also get a sense of or presence of somebody watching them, or some cold chills. You start feeling some cold vibes around you, and you're like, what's going on?
Seeing things go past in your peripheral vision. How many times
Yes.
have you had that?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure a lot of people have had that.
Yeah.
Even with sound, sometimes you might hear footsteps, somebody knocking, hearing voices, or just unexplained noises. Those
Mm-hmm.
are also some other factors that come into play with hauntings.
Yeah.
The best one though is when your objects are moving, right, March?
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, when the objects or something disappears and you know in your right frame of mind that you put it in a certain place, and then all of a sudden it appears in a whole different space, and you're like, am I going crazy or what's going on here?
Yep.
Also the lights flickering. I'm sure if you've seen any of our podcasts, my lights will constantly flicker here. Um, and then, of course, the doors opening and closing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The breeze is going through a house is closed.
Yeah.
I've had my alarm clock go on, start
Oh,
ringing.
ringing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was talking about um, a person in my life from when I was a teenager that
Hmm.
had committed suicide, and was talking about him, and my alarm clock went off. I'm not anywhere near it. It's 2 in the morning. Why is my alarm clock going off? There's no reason. And so like the alarm clock's here, I go like this to turn it off, and I get to here, and it turns off itself. I'm like, okay, hello, nice to see you're still around.
Yeah, it's seeing those shadows or those apparitions as well.
Yeah, yep.
That's interesting. What about you, Lynn? Have you experienced any fun hauntings in your area?
Mm, I have experienced like a familiar smell that's not supposed to be, there.
Hmm.
Like the smell of my mother, my um Lola, like my grandmother. So I usually um smell those.
That's
So I believe
nice.
it is.
Hmm.
It's comforting, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. Sometimes I actually cry, like cry like a baby.
I'm sure. Especially when you're not expecting it ever, right? It's not like you're looking
Yeah,
for it.
Yes, yes. It actually has its timing, and it's actually so amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. That's I know I've smelled roses before just walking and roses are never around and that's one thing fragrance that I always tend to pick up is roses.
Interesting. Do you know
Yeah.
what do you relate it to?
Um from what I understand Mother Mary is correlated with roses and so I am always thinking maybe that's she's around and so um my aunts too loved roses that have passed on so maybe that's just a fragrance that they come in that comes into play when I'm thinking about I'm always
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it just comes for a split minute split second for you to smell it and then it just drifts.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that because and then you sit there and go sniffing around like where'd it go?
Yeah,
Where'd it
exactly.
go? It was just right there.
Yeah, that one that was Lynn was talking about. We do have those emotional shifts when you're in different locations. Makes you feel overwhelmed or sad or
Mm-hmm.
just angry or feeling a little bit uneasy. Sometimes.
Uneasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be something that in your past that you may have experienced as well.
Right.
That sometimes they say your past comes back to haunt you, and so that could be something else in regards to hauntings.
That's true.
Yeah.
And haunting isn't necessarily a human soul or spirit. It can just be the
Mhm.
energy of an emotional situation too.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's also electronic disturbances that can happen.
Oh yeah.
Your computer going on, off and on, and you're not even touching it, or it's constantly, like I said earlier, the lights flickering, or
Yeah.
your phone ringing off the hook. I know back in my day, I used to get those experiences where the phone on the walls would constantly ring. You go pick it up, nobody's there, and
Mm-hmm.
hang it up, and then go about your day, and then all of a sudden it starts ringing again, and you're like, oh my gosh, it
That's
becomes too
crazy.
much. After a while, it gets frustrating. You get
I'm
frustrated
sure.
with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it is electronical disturbances too that can have an impact with,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, hauntings that are not in just people or spirits or ghosts. So
Right.
when you think upon it is definitely energy. Everything's energy. So if you really
Everything.
think about it, yes.
Yeah. And I was when I lived in Germany, we went on tour of some places that had been not pleasant places to be, and you could feel the oppression in those areas. It was like, oh man, it was a rough place to be back in the day.
Oh my! Was
You
it
could
like a
just feel it was
cemetery?
like tight. Excuse me?
Oh, I thought was it like a cemetery or just some place?
No, during World War II, there
Oh,
we didn't go to any of the concentration camps, but we went to places where they say they held POWs and stuff
mm-hmm.
and hurt people. So
Oh my gosh, that's so
yeah,
sad. Um, I was gonna say, sometimes too with hauntings, sometimes like we were talking earlier, the deceased will come in and maybe there's some unfinished business there that needs to be taken care of. Sometimes they're giving us warnings as well, and then,
yeah,
just having that attachment to something, like my bear, he's
right.
has a spirit attached to him, and so maybe this Dewey was someone's favorite bear, and so they loved him, and so that's why they're kind of put in the energies there. It's not so much,
Yeah,
yeah, the person's living in the bear. It's some, like they
right.
say on the movies,
Yeah.
Chucky. What I mean? It's Chucky. So, anyways, but well, should we talk about ghost stories or something like that since we are in the topic, or maybe something that we've had felt?
Yeah, different experiences that we've had. That would be
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or
Sure, I'll go first.
okay,
No
or
problem. I've had all of mine are pretty short.
okay.
So, I'll just talk in general terms. One day I was sitting at my a friend's house in the middle of I'm a night owl people. Just to let you know, I'm not a morning person. I will stay up till 3 in the morning, no problem. So one night I was sitting at her kitchen table having a cup of coffee, and I looked up and there was a farmer standing in the corner of the kitchen. He wasn't really there because I could kind of see through him too. And he just nodded like this and smiled and dissipated. It was pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
That was neat.
That's pretty interesting. What about you, Lynn? Have you ever experienced anything?
I am actually not the type of person who, like recognizes everything, but I have this um things that is not, usual to me, but the butterflies and the smells, like even the shampoo of my mother, I whenever I smell that, and I am not near the bathroom or anyone who's, who's been, taking a bath. So I would say it's really um, unusual. And whenever I smell that, there's also a butterfly that keeps on flying near me.
Oh,
And
that's so nice.
yeah, and I would say that it's maybe my mother or my grandma, because
Hmm.
whenever I have problems before, just child problems, small
Right.
problems, they actually always talk to me and talk about life and how it works, like that. So I just feel like whenever I see the butterflies, I smell those familiar scents. I feel like they're there comforting me. So
Yeah.
yeah, what, yeah,
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's always nice. Definitely nice to hear. Um, I guess mine would be when I hear my name, somebody calling me, and it's so like not even vague. It's like you can hear it clear as day, and there's nobody else in the house, like in my place with me, and I'm just like, what is going on? So
Yeah.
I just it kind of like freaks me out sometimes when I'm like, Carol, and it'll be just like that,
Oh,
and I'll be
wow.
like, what?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and so that just kind of like wakes me. It gives that's a wake up call for me. And then sometimes I'll go into like, okay, who's there? Like, I'll ask,
Yeah.
what is it you want, or where are you, or who's there, or what. I know you're not probably supposed to be like, but just trying to figure out like, if there's someone trying to tell me something, or
Hmm.
something like that, or kind of um making me be cautious about stuff. I don't really know, but I sometimes that wakes me up. Like, okay, I'm up. What's going on?
Yeah. I remember when my daughter was little, she'd be playing in her room and I'd be in the living room or the kitchen and I'd hear, "Mom." And I'd go, "What? What do you want?" She didn't
Oh,
say anything. She didn't call me. It happened over and over and over and over.
yeah.
oh,
I also experienced that, like, or it's maybe I miss the kids whenever they're school, so I hear their voice, or I sometimes ask myself, am I paranoid?
Yeah, I'm sure. Isn't that funny?
I know. So how with us, I know we've kind of. I'm pretty sure everybody's probably experienced something like, but like Lynn said, maybe they don't realize that that's what they're experiencing. So,
Right.
how do you think people would respond to a haunting if there is one occurring?
I think that you'll only really recognize it if you're willing to recognize it. So a lot of us, close that off because it's fearful, fear inducing, or we don't believe in it. And you have to have a little bit of an open mind to experience it at all,
Hmm.
right? And if you have that little bit of an open mind and you're not fearful, you can have a communication and conversation and really open it can open you up a little bit more. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, no, I so agree. If you feel like that's something you have or has occurred and you're kind of unsure, I would first of all just rule out everything, like rule out, maybe check your utilities if your lights are flickering.
Right.
Just check yourself, check things out. If it continuously happens, I would probably start logging it. Just to kind of make sure you're not going insane or something.
Right.
Where
Yeah,
you
that
are
makes
at.
sense.
Yeah, like you want to make sure you know where you're at. You're witnessing your
Yeah.
the location or the time that they happen, because sometimes the 3 o'clock a.m. is the pattern. All of a sudden, 3 a.m. you're waking up and you're hearing something or something's going on at that time, which is that's, I think, everybody was when the craziness kind of starts happening
Yeah.
at the 3 a.m. pattern. So just kind of start keeping a collection of, and if you are freaked out, there's several opportunities out there for you to get help with, you know. So you're not think maybe something, your spirit might be trying to tell you something or help you with something or caution you with something, you know.
Sometimes they're just saying hello, though.
Yep.
And it's not, just letting
Yeah.
you know that they're there to support you, like Lynn's mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And then it's not
if
a
you
it's
think about what you were thinking about when it happened, too, if you're awake and moving
hmm
about your house, what's going on in your life at the time, and what's going on in your mind at the time it happens.
yes. And if you are like, it didn't have to be scary, just say a prayer, if you're feeling fearful of it. 9 times out of 10 you shouldn't be fearful of it. I don't I used to be in that fearful mindset, but I've gotten where I've now accepted it, and I embrace it. So it just, if it comes, and they're here, it just, I've learned to embrace it over the years. So
Yeah.
yes, especially with me doing investigations now with this paranormal investigations, I've definitely embraced it. So
No doubt about that. And you learned how
no,
to clear yourself before you came back to your house, too.
yes,
So
yes.
that
Mm.
shake off that energy before you bring it home.
Oh yeah, because you don't want extra people moving in, especially when they're not paying rent and you can't
Yeah, they
see
need to
them.
pay the rent, darn it.
No. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just be sure, if that's something you do. You should always, first of all, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you did be should be doing is putting that cloak on.
Hmm.
Saying that prayer over you, just to kind of give you a sense of peace. So your day's going to be peaceful and powerful. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Express gratitude for the day, and on top of that, making sure you're getting that gratitude and that good vibe moving.
No, for sure. I know that well, Hollywood is, when they put all those horror haunting movies out there, the expectation is to scare us, but 9 times out of
Right.
10, like I said, that is not the experience at all. So
Yeah,
sometimes
the big emotions with those movies is what draws people in and makes them the money. So that fear is one of the biggest motivators for people. I think it's funny because a lot of people don't recognize the difference between energetically excitement and fear are very close together. Anxiety and excitement, I should say.
anxiety,
And
okay.
so, people will get on a roller coaster to get that rush
Mm-hmm.
when all they really needed to do was be excited about something. They didn't have to put themselves in a state where they were anxious or fearful.
Yes, no, for sure. Um, I would probably say too, how do we know if any of us, or if you felt have felt that you have had a spiritual haunting, or just in general?
Hmm.
Do you, any of you know that you've have the, how do you know how you have experienced it? Is what I'm trying to say.
I think it's just an experience. I don't know that you could ever, can't prove it, that
Mm-hmm.
this happened in the past. You can't prove it. You didn't have tools set up to get an EMF or anything like that, right? If
Right.
you were in an investigatory situation where you had some tools that you could record it and show proof of it, then you could say, yeah. But you got to trust yourself a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
recognize that You're not crazy. You're just experiencing something that other people aren't experiencing around you. Sometimes that happens. You're in a group and you see or hear something and nobody else in the group hears or sees it. It doesn't mean it didn't happen for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that, again, everything's energy.
Yeah. And maybe it was
And
meant for you.
what frequency are you tuned to on that radio dial?
That's actually really interesting you say the radio dial because I know with when I go on do ghost hunts, there's a radio, a little radio that we take out, and you're just constantly just maneuvering through it, and whatever pops
Picking up
out,
the words.
yeah, it'll pick up some of the wording
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that's just an idea, if you're trying to get confirmation or even like you said, Marge, the writing,
Oh,
uh,
yeah, automatic writing.
automatic writing would be another one. You
Yeah,
know, um, I know it's kind of hard to describe because I'm pretty sure everybody's hauntings, they're going to experience all differently. So
right. It's
yeah,
only 9 billion different ways. Because
yes,
everybody's perspective is different, everybody's experience is different.
hmm
I had along the lines of spirituality. I wouldn't call this a haunting. I had a friend that was working with me, a coworker,
uh-huh.
and she was saying, "I wish that I understood the spirituality that you talk about," because she grew up where they weren't allowed to have religion, so she had no concept of spirituality at all. And so I says, "Well, let's see what happens." I says, "We'll keep talking about it. Something will come out of it."
hmm
And that night when I went to bed, I says, "Help her see the light." Just talking to spirit. She comes in the next day. She goes, "Weirdest thing happened last night." I said, "Oh, what?" She goes, "We went to bed. My husband and I are in bed. My son's in his room, and I see the hall light go on and turn off." And I called him. And called to my son, "What are you doing out of
hmm
bed?" And he goes, "I'm in bed." And she goes, "Then who turned on the light?" He goes, "I don't know, but I saw it too." I said, "That is not what I meant. My spirit guides are jokers, right? So they did
hmm
that." I'm like, "That's not what I meant, and you know it."
Oh my God, that's too funny.
It was. It was so funny. Like, golly gee. I guess I should be more specific.
Yeah, because you would always ask for a sign or something, or if they're trying to tell you something or get your attention, you could always ask, what is it you're asking, and
Right?
say, please be thankful, whatever they're trying to give you, or you know, use your please and thank yous and your stuff. That way, they understand that you're grasping that.
Yeah. And you can use your intuition a bit with it too,
hmm
because you're going to automatically, you could, I shouldn't say definitely, but you could automatically say that's so and so, or that is related to this thing, or that's related to that thing. It doesn't it doesn't hurt to say, if this is this person. Let's just say it's like Lynn with the shampoo thing. She believes it's her mom or her grandma. If she would stop for just a second, she'll know which one it is and can acknowledge them and thank them for coming. And I'm sure she does, right, Lynn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just stop for a minute and pay attention to the energy and thank them for being there, it does make a big difference.
Yes, because they'll come and
Even,
visit.
I'm sorry, Carol.
Now, I was just gonna say they'll come and visit more often too, because they understand that I'm there for them.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're doing your haunting explorations, what do you call them? Haunting
Oh,
hunt,
paranormal investigations.
paranormal investigations. Wow. Okay. When you're doing those, you always thank the entities, welcome them
No.
into the space. No.
Mm-mm. I just when I'm out there, Marge, I can tell you when I'm out there, I'm just whatever's gonna come is gonna come. I think I have a very powerful angel beside me, and I don't get a lot of the other stuff that other people pick up on, and so because yeah,
You're
I,
filtered.
yes, I'm very filtered, and so I will ask sometimes to see if I get any confirmation. I will
Hmm.
tell you, I've done the one where they blindfold you and they put the headset, and then whatever you hear, you speak it out. And people are out there, with the groups that I do go, they'll asking you questions. I forgot what they call that, and so it's just getting confirmation. Like people ask a question, and the first thing that I hear, of course, like I said, my eyes are closed off, and so because they, put a scarf around you, so you're just
Hmm.
hearing what you're hearing through the radio
Through the headset.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, through the headset, and it's very interesting. We've done that for like I think 5 minutes out of each group, just different people who volunteered. And when I took my head, I took everything off. They were like, "Oh my God, did you hear what we were asking you?" And I said, "No, because it's so like white
The
noise and
noise can't.
staticky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't really hear unless you hear something come through." And I told them, "No, I couldn't really hear." And they're like, "Well, you are answering on some of our stuff," and it was just pretty interesting.
That's cool. So you're
Yeah,
getting channel messages and just
channel
translating it.
messages. Yeah, so.
That's cool.
I didn't hit on all of them, but there, it was a small group. They would usually break us up, but yeah, I don't even really know how I got into that. I think just the whole energy of not the norm. Just
Right.
kind of, I've always been enthusiastic because of stuff that I've experienced also, and so I've
Hmm.
just kind of grown to enjoy that. Um,
It's pretty neat.
yeah, it really is. Lynn, have you experienced anything else other than this your shampoo? I know you said you really don't look into it, but has there ever been anything else like maybe something that may have correlated with what we're speaking about?
I just recognize those, the shampoo, the smell, and sometimes the voice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You
And
hear?
whenever you keep on thinking of that specific person, you you can sometimes hear their voice or feel that they're there. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You feel their hand on your shoulder or.
yeah, the top.
Hmm. That's pretty
Right.
neat. How about the kids? You kids see things that we can't see.
Yeah.
A
And
lot.
times they keep on playing, and especially my youngest son
Hmm.
um is usually alone because his siblings are at school most of the time. So he keeps on playing, and then he keeps on talking as well, like a conversation. And I actually asked him, "Who are you talking to?" "My friend."
Hmm.
"Okay, your imaginary friend." "No, he's here."
Yep.
They're like that.
Yeah, my daughter had one too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's pretty. I know you're right, Marge. Kids can see, like just pets. Any pets, cats can see clearly, clear.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Dogs can sense it too. So, if your
Yep.
dog's looking in a corner and you're like, what's there? Or like, your cat's looking in that corner and you're like, what's there?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, so don't get alarmed. They can sense those energies, and for sure they can definitely see them. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I remember walking home when we lived in New Jersey, walking home with my daughter. She was little then, probably under 5. And we're walking home a couple of blocks and she starts bursts into laughter. And I'm like, "What's so funny?" She goes, that bird flew right between your legs." Ha ha ha. There was no bird. I would have seen a bird fly between my legs, I'm
Oh my
quite sure.
God. Yeah, for sure.
She was having
Yeah.
a great time with it.
Oh, oh
It's neat,
that's pretty interesting.
isn't
That would
it?
have been a sight to see for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So you kind of look at it like, "Oh, okay." But because I had not told her that the things that she sees are not real,
Hmm.
like so many people tell their kids, that kind of keep that vision open a little bit.
Right. That's a shame that they tell them that.
Yeah.
They should be open and susceptible to that. So let them be susceptible to that.
Yeah, I think as time goes by, it's going to be more and more acceptable. Remember, just 10 years ago, these conversations wouldn't have been held in public forum. You're a crazy, crazy woo woo hippie girl, you know?
Oh yeah. I, I don't know. Some places here think we're still crazy and woo woo.
Well, some people do, but
Some areas.
overall, it's a lot more acceptable than it
Oh
had
yeah.
been.
No, I agree, Marge, completely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to be able to talk about some of the things that we've experienced through our whole lives. And you had to be quiet because, that's not good. They're going to send you to a psych ward for saying you hear voices or put you on medication.
Oh yeah. I know. That's a shame, but
Yeah.
I'm glad even to this day, we can still get a lot of our presence from other air, ghosts or spirits or you just energy in general that it's just I love it. I love it. So I
Yeah.
truly enjoy that.
Me too.
Yeah. I was gonna say before we do leave this thing, I have also gotten some pictures. Marge, when I'm out investigating, we're always clicking too, and when I've looked at some of my pictures, you could see some of the energies. Sometimes you can see them clear as day, or imitation of a man or a woman, or a bear or whatever the case, vaguely.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty interesting.
That is.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah.
I remember driving down the road when we lived in Germany. I'm going all over the place. Sorry, folks. Me and my little short stories. But we're driving down the road to Germany on a road that we had gone probably 20 times. And my husband was driving, and I looked up, and there's something I'd never seen before. So I turn around, and it looks like a driveway with a rock gate over it, one of those rock
Oh yeah.
arches with the
Hmm.
gate. And there was a lady standing there with a basket of flowers. And I looked and I turned around to look again. I said, I've never seen that before. And he goes, what? I turned around and looked and it's not there. But it was clear as day. It was there. I swear it was there. I
Yeah,
can still picture it exactly. It's crazy.
that's interesting. I think some of those energies want you to see them. Like, I am here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty. That would have been pretty cool to look at, to check out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and had we okay, so my husband didn't know most of the stuff about me, like the woo woo stuff about me, the spiritual energy stuff, and so I didn't really talk to him. I says, I swear I saw this, and he's like, okay, whatever.
Hmm.
So had I been by myself, I probably would have turned around and gone back and sat there for a while and seen what came. Had a conversation.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sit there and just kind of have a chit chat or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
that
have
would
been
be cool.
interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would have been a cool conversation.
Yeah, yeah. There was another time that I was walking past a church by our home in Germany,
Hmm.
and clear as day, I heard my grandmother say, if you had told me that you were going to get married, I would have stayed. Because she passed away about a year before I got married. And I'm like, okay. Hmm. Have that little conversation.
Oh my gosh, interesting. I just remembered that my one of my friends, she's very intuitive and very psychic too, and she's also very reserved because she doesn't want people to think she's woo. But she texted me today and said that I don't know why, but she says, and she goes, you might think I'm crazy, which I already know her. I know her energy, how she is, and she's not crazy. But she told me today that my grandfather keeps getting a hold of her and telling her to tell Carol to come pick me up. I'm ready to go.
Really?
Yeah, and she told me that today, and she goes, I don't know why, but she goes, he keeps telling me that you need to go pick him up. and of course my grandfather passed away in '87,
Mm-hmm.
right before I graduated. And so, anyways, I just I don't understand what that means, but I will have to definitely look into that because she just told me that today.
That's interesting. Pick him up.
Pick him up, yeah. So I
Hmm.
don't know where I'm supposed to go pick him up, but I know where he's at. I just don't know where I'm supposed to go pick him up at, but yeah, I will probably have to
Interesting.
look into that for
Yeah, you
sure.
have to sit with that a while and see what he
Yeah,
says, because I'm sure he'll come to you. Maybe
yeah,
that's what it's about, making that connection with you directly instead of having to go through your friend. Because
yeah,
you aren't on the right frequency, Carol. You got to get
yeah.
on that frequency. Pick it up.
Yeah, no, I know. And it's funny because since my brother just passed away recently, I've been visiting the cemetery more, and I just enjoy being out there. And he, my grandpa, real short story, but he raised me or I feel like he's always been my real true dad because he's taken me and he's always been my clutch to,
Hmm.
my sanctuary, my world. And so, um, he's I've always used to give him a hard time. Man, poor guy, poor man. He probably didn't want a grandkid after this, but I was like his shadow. I was always around him, and so
Hmm.
yeah. And he owned a bar, and sometimes I'd be younger, and while he's working the bar, I'd be in there, and he used to get mad at me, but he'd be there,
Oh no,
go home.
can't
But
be in here.
yeah, so it's just there's so many stories I could tell you about him, but yeah, so I
That's
find it
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, that he said it. She told me that today, and I told her I'm gonna have to really hone in on that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. That's
pretty
interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know, but
You'll
that's
figure it
all.
out.
I hope so. I hope so. Well, I don't have anything else to add to our lovely spiritual and haunting March. Do you have anything?
I do not. I hope that anybody that's got a story would share it with us. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
I love hearing other people's stories.
Yes, for sure. What about you, Lynn? Do you have anything?
I just want to share this. I've heard this from my mother before.
Mhm.
Like my grandfather actually knew that he will be, that moment is his last day, because the night, like the day or the night before he died, he actually asked my grandmother to a dance, like, this will be our last dance, can I have it? And then my
Oh,
grandmother actually keep on crying, like they knew what that means, like the
Mhm.
both
yeah.
of them. And then they slept, and then actually my grandfather died.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
yeah.
The
You,
soul knows, and if you're
mhm.
listening to your soul, you might
Yeah.
know.
And that was definitely a beautiful memory for him to leave with
That
her.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, how sweet.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah,
for
it's
sharing.
amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. Well, my name is Carol. Thank y'all for visiting us today here at or you can visit us actually. Sorry.
That's okay.
www.neuvias.com. And as always,
I'm Marge. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. I would love to hear your stories.
yes. Till next time, much love and light. Take care.
Love y'all.
Yeah. Love you.
Bye bye.